Hi everyone, hope you're alright. Hope everyone's had a good week. I've no idea. Hopefully I'm going live and there's no hitches. It looks like I am, so hopefully, touch wood, we should be alright. So yeah, a few people in the comments. I'm just going to put some music on. Bit of background music. Right, hopefully that's not too loud. If the background music needs turning down, let me know and I'll try and sort it all out. And yeah, I'll welcome everyone into the chat so far, really. Hi Sean, mate, you alright? Hi Matt, you okay, buddy? Saw your video. View pure, sorry, got that wrong. Window cleaning, you alright, mate? You alright, Robbie, buddy? You all ready for your holiday on is it Monday you're going tomorrow? Oh, cheers, Matt. Hopefully the background music's not too loud. If it needs turning up or down, just let me know. Hi, Marcus. Thanks for joining in, mate. Yeah, so sorry, Sean, I was just reading your comment. I misread that. I thought he was on the throne. Oh, I'm doing good. Is that what you're supposed to say? Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, mate. I've had a good week this week. You all right, Neil? You all right, mate? So, yeah, I'm happy with that. It's just the heat. Oh, the heat is a killer, isn't it? And I don't think I've been home so far this week before 6 p.m. It's always been 6 p.m. I've managed to make it home. Haven't done any extra work. It's just you slow down, don't you, with the heat, I think. No matter how hard you feel like you're pushing yourself to keep going, because it feels like you're really forcing yourself, but you're just slower. And speaking, Robbie's just saying, yeah, you're often on holiday in 56 hours. You're not counting the clock there, are you? I would be as well, mate. And yeah, me and Robbie were just chatting away, and Robbie's saying, because he's been doing this for 15 years, that it's quite common this time of year that you end up working longer than what you do in the winter, because in the summer everything's a bit harder to clean anyway, isn't it? And like I say, I've got behind schedule, so they're a bit dirtier than normal as well, to be honest, because I was quite far behind in my schedule. But you get a lot of the retired people who are out in the gardens, so everyone's going to come up and chat to you. And with the traffic as well and roadworks, all that combination, the whole lot, just seems to make you work for a lot longer than what you would have thought. Whereas in the winter, everyone stays out of your way mainly, don't they? Everything's easier to clean. It's a nicer temperature for a start, and you're against the clock because of the shorter daylight, so you're trying to really go for it, and you just tend to do things really quicker. Just wish I could do that all year round. What's with the crowns and hashtags? Yeah, Nelly, that was confusing me last week, so I have no idea, mate, what all that is about. Because I can't see them in the chat I'm looking at for Ecamm, but when I look on the live bit, and it's got all these numbers with them, so I have no idea, mate. That's going to be AI Gemini question, I think. Marcus saying Friday was proper Betty Swallock. So God, it was. You alright, Angus, mate? How was Scotland? Was that a bit hot as well, or was it a decent temperature for you up there? Okay, Angus has just answered the question, everyone, that all the crowns are for the top chatters. So everyone's a top chatter then, basically. But I would say there's a few people who haven't got these sort of symbols and numbers who I would have thought they had. All right, Christopher, mate, thanks for joining in. So, yeah, I don't know how all that works, mate. Oh, you get experience for chatting with you. They're always changing stuff all the time in YouTube, aren't they? Angus just saying the weather was okay. It was nice. So, yeah. A lot better than what it was around where we were. Oh, man, it was hot Friday. I must have eaten about 20 Mr. Freeze ice pops. In fact, Saturday I was working as well. I went and brought 3 packs. So I've got another 60 ready to eat. I spent most of the evening eating ice pops and reading Arctic facts off the freeze pops. Because at the end of the day, you can buy 20 freeze pops for £1.18p from Asda, and that's a lot cheaper than a Ben & Jerry's ice cream pop for £6. You know what I mean? Eat 6 of them, that's 36 quid down the drain, isn't it? So ice pops and less calories. Angus saying it's 26 degrees up in Scotland. God, I wish it was here. We are jealous for once, mate, of what the weather's like up in Scotland. God. And this week, I do believe it's going to get cooler. We hope so. But it does feel a bit muggy today. There's not a lot of wind as well. And tons of flies in our house. And all my customers around here have been saying the same problem with flies. And the shops as well. And far more refreshing View Pure Window Cleaners saying, yeah, God. It's nice in the evenings, isn't it, when you get out in the garden? Because you just suddenly realise the heat difference between in your house and outside. That and a Mr. Freeze ice pop, I tell you. Angus just said, I'm pressed for time this week, getting jobs in. Rain forecast for Thursday and all the way to Sunday. All right, so the weather's going to affect. Yeah, so he's going to try and get ahead. I see where you're coming from there, mate. Wow. A lot of me customers are saying it's forecast thunderstorms on the way. But I know when they say that, they arrive 2 weeks late. And then it's like a letdown. It's just when you think it's going to be like a massive fart and it's just a little one. So you get a small crack of thunder and that's it. And then everything goes back to being hot. But a nice, decent thunderstorm would definitely do well to clear it down a bit. And them thunderflies been out in force all week. They've been absolutely horrible. I can't wait for them to go. I believe they've been cutting some corn around here in the villages near mine earlier than normal. So maybe that's because the thunderstorms are coming and they want the fields flattened. So they're going to take their money. Perhaps it's almost ready. So they're going to do it, get it out of the way. And that'll get rid of them thunderflies, won't it? Nellie's just saying, I love this weather. It's a shame people will be asking for the best gloves to wear soon. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for the winter to hit, to be honest, mate. And then you go through winter, don't you? Wait for summer to get excited to get your shorts on and that. But God, with this heat is too much for me anyway. Oh, and Angus saying you've been seeing a few bales of straw going up your way as well. So, yeah, I guess the farmers are trying to get ahead of the forecast of the bad weather coming. That's not me. That is a motorbike going past, by the way. Oh, I can tell you something funny happened Saturday. I was cleaning a customer's house. We did fascia soffits and gutters and a conservatory roof. And then she's coming out chatting at the end, and there's someone across the road, the opposite way, opened like a boot. It was a bit creaky, shall we say, and did sound a bit like a fart. And my customer's looking around as if to think, what was that? I just laughed and smiled and said it weren't me, which made her smile. And then I quickly thought I'd better save the day here and said, and I know it wasn't you, which caused quite a lot of laughter, actually. And I just pointed out it was the car across the road. So, yeah, it was a funny moment. I suppose you had to be there. Oh, what's going on with... That's better. Yeah, so what I thought I'd do a live for today, because again, when I was speaking to Robbie, he's asking what I was doing, I said, I have no idea. I make it up sometimes on the day. So about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I decided, I know what, I'll talk about GoCardless, because there's been a few talks of it in the Discord and stuff. Beans and hot sauce, Angus, you can't go wrong with that. And yeah, so I thought I'd talk about GoCardless, really. And I know when I was chatting to Robbie, we were talking about GoCardless as well. And yeah, I just wondered what people think of GoCardless. If it's something that you really want to do. I mean, I would love to get... There are reasons why I like to use GoCardless. I'll go through all these in the live and stuff. But obviously, everyone just asks questions away in the chat and that. But yeah, the common pains that you get with chasing payments, I suppose. Because it's admin, isn't it? You're going through... Luckily, I use Squeegee, so you can see the list of those who are owing. But I also use a bookkeeping program, which is Xero, because my accountant uses Xero, and he can just sign into it whenever he wants to get what he wants done. It's just easy. And I started bookkeeping with Xero before I took up... sorry if I do any Hitler salutes, all right? It's because I'm trying to swat a fly a bit camp. Don't want to bash my microphone about and that. But yeah, I use Zero before I use Squeegee, and I'm just going to keep it that way. And yeah, so the admin that's caused by chasing payments, because you see someone's late, then you double check they are late, because we can all make mistakes. And then you've got to send out your reminders, and you don't get a reply, and normally that's another reminder, and the list gets bigger. And it can cause a nightmare. And then when I'm doing what's called reconciling, so with the payments made, I have to tie them up with an invoice. It can be a nightmare as well with that. Whereas with GoCardless, the reconciling your payments with invoices is done automatically, because it knows what customer through GoCardless ties with what invoice. So it saves you a hell of a lot of admin time, just reconciling all the payments for your bookkeeping programs as well. And in Squeegee, it knows exactly who's paid what. Once you've there is a way of syncing your customers to your GoCardless. So every time you get a customer sign up with GoCardless, you have to go and Squeegee sync customers, and you update it by confirming it. Once it's done that, it runs itself pretty much. So yeah, that's the problem with chasing payments. And then obviously you're not going to get your payments in when you need to. I mean, I've had a few dramas where I've had engine problems, and I'd have had enough to pay everything if every single payment that was outstanding late was paid. And because it wasn't, it means you take a hit, and then you try and chase up payments and all that. So if you get that down to minimal, it's going to make your life easier. So that's what I think is good about GoCardless, in the way that it can get rid of those sort of problems. I'm going to have a go at some point of trying to do a poll to see what people are doing. So I'm just going to catch up on some of the chats or comments, in the chat. Excuse me. Where are we? Right. Angus saying you on Zero as well, but you're not using a CRM. Like Squeegee at the moment. Yet mentioned before about building up my own, still in progress. Yeah, I would just upgrade to these things when you feel the need to get them, really. And then they've all got different levels as well, haven't they? So they've got like a starter and then medium, and then go up to the higher end as well. So they just add on extra features. So just do things your own way, really, until you feel like you need a bit of help. And then you go on the lower one, don't you? And then build up as you go on the features when you get used to how the program runs and all that. And that's what I would do. Angus is always saying would say one big company in my area with more than one van on the road that use GoCardless. I've seen on the web that there were complaints about them using it. Ooh. Be interesting to know what them complaints are, Agnes, as well. So, do you know what the common theme is there with the complaints then with GoCardless? I know it can throw some customers, but it shouldn't really, because everyone pays direct debits through the bills and stuff like that. I just think they find it hard that they have to pay a window cleaner that way, to be honest. And then they're worried you can take all sorts of money, but don't realise the benefits, or you're covered by the, what do they call it, guarantee, direct debit guarantee and all that kind of stuff. View Pure Window Cleaning saying, I don't use GoCardless, but I use Get Soapy, and you can accept direct debit through that. Right, I've got you. I know like Squeegee can use, it's direct debit, but it links it up with GoCardless. So I assumed Get Soapy was the same thing. But obviously it's not. So that's interesting. I have looked at Get Soapy, by the way, but I'm sticking with Squeegee for now, because mainly because I know more about it. But that's interesting to know. Does anyone else use Get Soapy as well? Marcus saying, I have a new rule starting last week. Any new jobs will have one price for bank transfer and a discount price for cash. Most will go through the discount because you don't get enough cash these days. Yeah, you can try all these little funnel routes, can't you, to try and direct people to certain areas. No worries, Paul. You all right, mate? You haven't really missed too much. And listening to a podcast, like some guy in America, I forgot what it's called, but he does $1 million turnover window cleaning within 3 years, and he started up by himself. And obviously got lots of people working for him doing different things and all that kind of stuff. But like he was saying, with the way they go out there, they've got 3 different levels for the window cleaning. So just say it's gold, silver, bronze. Bronze is a cheaper one. Silver is the most optimized way for the money. Gold is a premium. And what he's trying to say is you're trying to funnel everyone to silver, really. So the bronze is the basic stuff. But when they look at for X amount more, they get a hell of a lot extras on top of it. Because obviously, like in America, they do inside, outside, screens, tracks, and all that kind of stuff. And then on the gold, you just get a little bit extra on that. So the idea is people looking at the premium will think, well, actually, for that little bit more, I'm not getting that much, so I'll just stick with silver. And then again with bronze, it's the other way around. So he's saying you're trying to push people into the mid-range, which is the most optimized priced-wise. But as well with the premium, they're paying a lot more for not a lot of extra. But he said like some people would just go premium without looking. And then, you know, you've upped your money that way. So there's all these little techniques, I suppose, that people use, but it depends how everyone works. Obviously, in the UK, we do things a bit differently. Anger's just saying, I think it was the company we're not either carrying out the work or weren't doing the work, but still taking money from people's accounts, or they just weren't doing a very good job and we're obviously taking the money. Okay, and they were not carrying out the jobs. Right, that's a bit naughty, isn't it? So they're not doing the jobs, but they're using the direct debit and hoping, obviously, the customer don't realise that they haven't come round. But that's you can understand it being a fear of a customer as well. And if they've read something like that, they're going to think we're all the same, aren't they? But that's what I like to explain to people is that basically if you use GoCardless, or I'm trying to direct new customers anyway to GoCardless, and then you just say how it works. You've got your patter, like explaining how many days it comes for payment comes out your bank, it comes to my bank, but you get notified, you get sent emails throughout the whole chain, that sort of thing. And also that it's not a reoccurring monthly bill. It only happens once I've raised an invoice, which you'll get an email for. So you'll know about it anyway, and then you get another email explaining when the money's going to come out your bank account. So they're kept informed throughout the whole process. And I just tell them basically, if I don't do the work, you don't get an invoice, and you won't have to pay any money automatically at all. And also you do your 24-hour, 48-hour, whatever you use, guarantee anyway on your work. If it's not good enough, you're going to go round. And your customer can always cancel the direct debit before the payment's got out, and also remind them they've got protection of the direct debit guarantee as well. So again, you've got to be mindful of clever customers that could, for example, take you for first clean, pay by GoCardless, but then they cancel the transaction themselves, and then you've lost that. So trust works both ways, doesn't it? But that is rather naughty. Gerard's just saying, we get the odd one that won't sign up, but my feeling is they're the ones that will have us chasing them for payment anyway, yeah. And you've got 345 customers paying by direct debit. That is amazing. I haven't done the figures. I think out of 600 customers, I've got 77, something like that are paying automatic payments. I've got some on GoCardless, some on Stripe. I'll have to look through Squeegee and do the figures. I'll have to do a search and count them up. I do have a lot though that pay by backs, and they're not bad. To be honest, for me, my late payments are a lot better than what it used to be, considering I've managed to earn more money in a day. By the end of the month, what is outstanding bills, and I ask for payment within 7 days. That's just what I did from the start, so that's the way I go. And it ties in with GoCardless that way. I'm only owed 2 days worth of money at the end of the month. I used to be, I'd say 6, almost a whole week, which now would be a nightmare. So yeah, I've been a bit hesitant on getting people over to GoCardless. I've dipped my toe in it, and a lot of people just have said no. And we haven't asked the ones that have never been a problem paying neither, because I think that could be taken completely the wrong way. I'll just have to learn how to reword it that I'm going over to GoCardless for these reasons, not it's because they're bad payments, stuff like that. But anyone who's a bad payer and we send out reminders to, definitely we send them a link to GoCardless. And eventually when they get sick of being chased up, they just naturally sign up for GoCardless. So we've got some people that way. But yeah, going ahead, I definitely would like to get new customers on GoCardless. It's hard, isn't it, when you're building up around with customers that you're forcing someone to go down the route they don't want to know or go down, and then you're fearing that you're going to lose a customer. So when you first start, you're trying to take all payments and let them choose. But I wish I'd gone GoCardless from day one, and I was told to. Because like I said, it saves so much time and admin, reconciling as well, and chasing payments. When you start getting really busy, these things take up a lot of time in your evening. Robbie's just saying, I find customers signing up online sign up easier to GoCardless than cold calling. Some customers just love the GoCardless because they don't have to do anything, so it's ease and convenience. And like Robbie, he's got it sorted where people can go on his website, they like pick the price for their house, so it's like a quote, and then they accept that by signing up to GoCardless. And Robbie hasn't left his house, it's all happened. All he's got to do is slot them into his rounds and obviously tell him when their next B round, and then he knows he's getting paid straight away as well, whether the customer's there or not. And yeah, I'd agree with that as well. I think more people are likely to sign up because they've come on the website looking for a window cleaner. It's like we were saying, it's a good kind of like sifter, isn't it? So you're turning away the time wasters. These are people that want you to come around and clean the windows. So they've looked for you. They've come up with a quote they're happy with, and they've signed up to the GoCardless because they want you to come around and clean the windows, and they're going to be a long-term customer as well. And you're not chasing up the payment, so quid's in there, isn't it? So there's lots of different ways of doing it. Dawn Window Cleaning saying, source subject, just spent the last 2 hours on now going through bank account checking who's paid, as I'd left to let it slip lately. It does take surprisingly a long time, doesn't it? I've spent many hours in the evenings going through this. And the other thing I find with late payers is, the bit that takes me up is I've got to go in Squeegee to see they're late. I go through my bank to make sure they haven't paid, if they always pay by backs, for example. If they've signed up previously, because I used to use Stripe for automatic payments, which is payment by card and done automatically that way, I'd then have to sign into Stripe to double check there. And then once I found they actually haven't paid me, I know they are late, and then I'll send a reminder. So when you've got a lot of customers like that, it takes up a hell of a lot of your time. And there are times I've found out they have paid. It's just somewhere along the lines the system hadn't picked it up, or I hadn't. And then I've saved myself a bit of embarrassment by saying they owe me when they actually don't. Whereas if I was GoCardless completely, that would just get rid of all that, because it reconciles automatically in Xero and Squeegee. So that's where it's good as well. Angus just saying, I think it's difficult for them because they're a big company. Oh, yeah, with quite a number of employees. So it's most likely not the cleaner that's on GoCardless taking the money. So yeah, it's not necessarily the company, it's the people working for them. They might as well just thought sod it and missed some cleans or something like that and just marked it as done. You know, like people dumping leaflets instead of putting them through the door to take the money. I suppose it could be a bit of that going on as well. But that's a hard thing, isn't it? That sort of thing can ruin your reputation quite badly. Made me wonder if there's a better way. Joe was just saying, we switched to direct debit when COVID hit. It's a lot easier. You just have to explain it to them. The main things I have to mention is, they be charged. Sorry, I've just got to reread that typo and me not thinking right. They're only charged until, won't be charged till the windows are done. That's the sort of thing I tried to get across as well. And also just to explain as well that they're notified throughout the whole process. So as soon as the clean's done, they're going to get an invoice. 3 days later, they'll get an email to say money's being requested from their bank account. And then 2 to 4 days, I think, or depending on if it's a weekend or not, the money will be transferred. and again then told that it's come out, so it's not stealth, if you get what I mean. And like you say, they're covered with the direct debit guarantee, and it's no different to them paying their bills with direct debit, except it's not reoccurring on a certain date. It just happens once the clean has been done. So yeah, I think everyone basically knows what GoCardless is or have heard of it. Like I said, the other one is Stripe, which uses through Squeegee, and you can have these plastered on the invoice. I've got that hidden, so when I invoice a customer, they get the invoice, and on the very top is the only place to put it is a button, which I explained to them is their eyes are forced to that, and that's to get them to sign up basically to GoCardless. But I do, on the very bottom of my invoice, have the details for a bank transfer for those obviously that pay by backs. But once I've got it set up, it's always there. But some people do change bank accounts, and that's why I left the details there. Maybe I should get rid of that to make it GoCardless only as well. I've got to think this through really of how I'm going to try and get everyone over. I don't think I'm ever going to get 100% people, current customers, over to GoCardless, because where I've tested the water, there have been a few that have took offence at that because they've never been a late payer. So that's what I said to my wife. I think we ought to leave them ones alone and just go for the ones that are always late paying, that sort of way. And like you say, point out the convenience for them. So it's like a stealthy way of saying you're not very good at paying. But the good thing is, when you are busy and you're getting new customers in, you can use them to replace your problem customers, isn't it? But it's when you're growing, that's the hard bit, and you tend to take everyone on. But just going GoCardless easily would save me hours of admin time in the evenings. You'd literally just come home, get your invoices done through your bookkeeping, and the reconciliation, you just click OK, because it matches them, and you're done. That's what I would love. So yeah, that's kind of like, I suppose, the pros and cons, isn't it, with GoCardless. Where is... Well, before we do that, I'll try and get a poll going. Just bear with me. I've just got to type it on there. Just excuse me. If I can only give you, when I do a poll through this, 4 options, I'd like to have been more. Not done this before, a poll, so I don't know how I get the results, but we'll find this one out. Okay, the poll's up there, and I think it's coming through, and it'll be interesting to see. I'll leave it run its course for a while anyway. I've got flies crawling up my ankles as well. Must be the baked beans. So I'm just trying to see, where did I get to? Right there. Yeah, sorry. Paul is just saying, I think when you're starting out, you don't worry. Yeah, it's not a major issue. But when you reach a tipping point, so a lot of customers, where it becomes a headache, trying to manage everyone and payments, then you kind of wish or think more of trying to use GoCardless. Because it's like me, when I first started, I just thought I'll just accept all methods of payment. So, and I still do at the moment. Although I'm trying to take new customers, push them more towards the GoCardless. But check, they're good still. And I suppose a good thing with a check is, because I'm with Starling now, you can use your phone to take a picture, upload it to the bank, and literally in 24 hours and sometimes under, it's accepted and it's paid, it's in the bank account. So I haven't even got to leave the house. So checks are quite good that way. Other than check, obviously you got bank transfer. That is definitely a motorbike and not me. You got the bank transfer, your backs, GoCardless, and I've still got people on Stripe automatic card payments. but I've took that off my invoices. And obviously cash, if I've already said that. Because I still got quite a lot of elderly customers, and that's how they prefer to do things. They're that sort of generation. So I'm not going to say no to them about that. And like I say, I've got some people point blank said no to GoCardless. But it would be nice to have everyone on there. That's for sure. Christopher's just saying, agreed 2 late payments, then tell them if they want to continue the service, they need to go on GoCardless, which I think is fair. So like you say, you got your serial late payers. Just on all my reminders anyway, I have the link for them to sign up to GoCardless, and sort of like saying, why not sign up to automatic payments for easy life sort of thing. View Pure Window Clean saying, I think Get Soapy uses Stripe to handle payments. I accept direct debit card, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and direct debit. Yeah, the other thing I accept as well is Square, because I had a World Pay, so it was a normal card reader like you get in a shop, except it's got a SIM card in it, so it roams and finds the best and strongest signal with the best network available, so you can take payments that way. But sometimes it's been a pain, and to reconcile all that lot for Xero was hard as well. I'd have to get receipts of them taking their fee out of it. And then when Squeegee sort of like paired up with Square, you can click done in Squeegee, click done and paid, but instead of saying how they've paid, you can click charge. And one of the options obviously was, or two of the options was Stripe and GoCardless, but they added a third one, which is Square. And that opens up the app on your phone and inputs the price of the clean straight away. And then all they've got to do is tap the phone with their card, just like my card reader basically. And then it marks it as paid in Squeegee. So I've got payments coming in that way as well, card payments using Square. And I quite enjoy using that. It's on my phone. My phone's always in my pocket anyway. So I've got rid of using World Pay. I've still got the machine because we can keep that at home. That card can take payments. That machine, sorry, can take payments over the phone. But I've got to tell my wife how to do that, because if you don't know how to do it, it can be complicated. But it's a simple process when you know it, and you can just ask the right questions and you can take payment over the phone. So I thought it'd still be handy to keep for that. Gerard's saying, we only insist on new customers. We have around 500... Sorry, I can't talk. I'm only drinking water as well. We have around 520 customers in total this year. We plan to insist they switch for existing ones when we can't get in. Sorry, we insist. I was just trying to think of someone else at the same time and listen to what's going on in the house. So this year, yeah, we plan to insist they switch for existing ones. Well, what have I done? Yeah, I think that's the hard bit, isn't it? It's trying to get your existing customers over to GoCardless, especially when they're not the ones who are like late payers. It's a bit hard to try and get that one right, but there's got to be an easy way of doing it. They've got stuff plastered all over the GoCardless website to try and give you tips on how to do it as well, haven't they? Christopher's saying the same, all the above. Robbie's saying one of the cons is if you have a customer, they pay by backs fast, you're moving them in delay payments with GoCardless. Yeah, that's a good point, Robbie. I don't know, I suppose you all know about GoCardless anyway. It does say on their website, I'm sure, like 3 to 5 days, but I think what it is, payment takes 5 days from raising the invoice to the money getting into your account. But if it falls over a weekend, a Saturday and Sunday, it then goes to 7 days. So that's how I try and explain it to my customers, saying you sign up to GoCardless, blah, blah, direct debit. And then as soon as I've cleaned your windows, you'll get sent an invoice, which triggers my bank and your bank being talked to by GoCardless. So you'll get an email 3 days later saying that payment's going to come out of your bank account in 2 days into mine. And I just said if it's on a weekend, it'll be a bit longer. So your payment comes out your bank basically between 5 and 7 days. And then just what Robbie's saying, if someone's on backs, that's pretty instant and you've got cash in your bank, haven't you? Whereas being everyone on GoCardless, you're always going to be a week behind with payments, even though the payments are safe. They're just not actually in your bank, if that makes sense. But the good thing is, Robbie, while you're on holiday, if you've got a week of holiday, every day you're on holiday, you're getting money coming in and getting paid. So there is that as well. Okay, Dawn's just asking, how much does GoCardless cost? Did I miss that? I haven't mentioned it, mate. Sorry, Mills Window Cleaning's just mentioned it. So that's in the chat. We can have a look on the website in a bit, but he's saying it's 1% plus 20p, then added VAT on top of that. I believe it's competitive with all card rates and stuff like that. And the other thing is, like Robbie's saying, I liked Stripe for quite a while because they brought on instant payments once you've been with them set time. It's only a short amount of time. So someone could pay you by card, say, for example, and when I get home, I could sign into Stripe, get that accumulated total and click instant pay, and that money instantly gets put into my bank account. Done. But the problem was with Zero, about 2 or 3 days later, it took for Zero to pick up these transactions, and then I had to do a bit of homework to find out who's paid me. Whereas if I'd let it do its own thing, Zero would tie in each invoice with each individual payment. Because I clicked instant pay, it was one lump sum. So I'd have to break it down. So that was the bad thing about using that on Stripe. Also with Stripe is the details on people's cards change. So I was just trying to do something. Because the payments on the card changes, then you won't get your money as well. So you've got to think every so many years the card expires, and then the last 4 numbers, I believe, and along 4 digit, they change. So it doesn't match up, and then you're getting failed payments, and then you have to chase them to say it's failed. They'll be like, well, I've got money in the bank. And then you have to, it takes a while. The first thing I started to ask was, well, all right, has your bank card details changed? And they say yes. And I go, all right, that's what it is. So that was another reason why I decided to switch Stripe off. Although, like I say, my current customers who pay through Stripe, I've just left them on because they pay no problem automatically. Nelly's saying, personally, wouldn't take any other form of payment for window cleaning. Too many small transactions to keep track of, especially like I say, when you've got loads of customers, and when this does it automatically, ties up with Squeezy and your invoicing, it saves you so much time on admin. It's unbelievable. Gerard's just saying on costs, I worked out we would have to pay over 2k chasing payments in payroll costs to go back at night. GoCardless costs you around 1k in charges, so you're a lot better off with GoCardless. And I know as well, don't they, with GoCardless, I believe they do automatic retries for any failed payments, but I do believe it costs you for each one of them. So it is something you have to keep your eye on for customers that are bad at that, because it start racking you up more charges. So if that happens a lot, I suppose you replace them, or I wonder if you can change the collection date so it happens around their payday, so the money's in the bank and their money comes out. I suppose it's just being a polite way of how to speak to your customers, especially if you've got a good rapport with them. You want to keep it that way as well. And yeah, as much as things can be a pain for you, keep an open mind, because you never know what's going on in someone's life, do you? Right, I'll have a look at the poll. What have we got so far? Right, don't know if you can see it. I think you can click on... Can you all click on it in the chat yourself where it's got the poll? Because I've just clicked on it and it's sort of done a drop down. It's just saying basically out the people who've done the poll, I don't know how many people have gone for it. I can't say how many people it's out of. There might be another way of finding that out. But anyway, it looks like GoCardless is 35% and bank transfer is 59%. I was going to say I don't make out. I'm 6% with Stripe and nobody is cash. I know I'm cash still. I'm mixture of everything basically, with a lot of legacy ones, but I'm trying to get more. 17 votes. Cheers. That's out of 17 people. I'll just leave the poll up for now anyway. Yeah, Sean's just saying 17 as well. So I just had another comment from Adorn saying, I agree, GoCardless is the way to go, but can't help begrudge all these costs that chip away. Yeah, you win the clean. So if everyone was a bank transfer, you're getting it all, aren't you? There's no fees coming out of it, which is, I think, another reason why when you first start, you're a bit hesitant on using these payment systems, but you do learn later on that it's worth paying these fees to have good cash flow. And yeah, it's another thing to factor in your prices then, really, isn't it? Put your prices up. So obviously it's covering everything else, but also including these costs of you getting better cash flow. So that's another point, I suppose, for pricing, really. Yeah, agree with you there, Nelly. You never know, do you? So just a question, I suppose, for everyone. What's your biggest cash flow headache, really? Which will obviously be late payers. So Joe, I was just saying there's a lot of admin with backs. It's going to cost you one way or another, yeah. So where you've perhaps saved on having to pay a fee to get better cash flow, it's creating more admin for you, which is time away from your family at the end of the day, isn't it? And when you've done, like, especially now in the summer and you're finishing at 6, so you're doing a 10-hour day, your tea's on the table within 5 minutes you're getting in, and all you want to do is jump in the shower and eat about 1 million ice pops. Then you've got to motivate yourself to start going through your bookkeeping. Whereas with GoCardless, it kind of automated, runs itself, and the minimum work necessary, I suppose, on admin, because there'll always be a little bit of it. The thing I do like as well with GoCardless is, and free squeegee, it will notify you if someone's direct debit's been cancelled, which does happen. I've seen that happen a few times, but it's not by the customer. It's normally done for some reason through the bank, and they do this for a variety of reasons, like fraud and stuff, I suppose, or I think they do it every 2 years to try and force a bit of a clean out of old direct debits, and then you just obviously inform the customer, just saying, I don't know why, but your bank seems to have cancelled your direct debit. They apologise, you say no worries, send them a link, re-sign up to it, job done. I've had that happen to me. Kev saying, due to the elderly population here, I lose about 90% of my round if I used GoCardless, but I have 0% fees business account, that's good, including cash deposits, and use LO Pay for card payments, who are very cheap. I've not heard of them before. That's a good tip there. What on earth is going on here? That's weird. Shows you I didn't check up stuff, but I did check on here earlier for some reason. I think I know the problem. no idea how I work this one out. I think it's because I've got two of these open up at the same time. Because my music was cutting out. So you learn something weird. That'll do. Right, where were we? So that's LO Pay. I'll just put it in the comments for those who are interested. So yeah, that's what Kev's pointed out. Look at the pricing. So 0.79% per transaction when you're on the essential. If you go on the standard plan, it's 0.99%. Remember, GoCardless is 1% plus 20p, and then instant to bank 1.79%. Obviously, it's worth having a good read of all this. And Kev's just saying they've got a card machine which was 30 quid. That's really good. As I ordered it through the app, next day payments are 0.99%. And that's through the card machine, I think. So that's really good as well. That's quality, mate. I mean, I guess in time these prices will change as they get bigger, like with everyone else, but that's brilliant, isn't it? So for anyone perhaps is new or looking at ways of cutting down the expenses through improving your cash flow, that's something worth looking into, isn't it? Matt's just come in with some comments. Had someone the other day whose bank got hacked. She flagged her GoCardless as something she didn't recognise, told the bank it was fraud. As soon as she cancelled, she got an email and then she realised. I guess she was quick in letting you know that as Matt as well. And yeah, if it's something new and you got a bit of a panic on it, these sort of things can happen as well. GoCardless paid her back. She then had to transfer you the money and then sign up again to GoCardless. But another good thing, Matt, that's probably demonstrated there to your customer is she is protected by the direct debit guarantee as well. So it proved that that works, and what you've told her with all the sign up stuff for that is 100% correct. Kev saying the low pay machine is good and has a proper keypad, etc., and the battery lasts ages. So it's going to be no different to what people use in the shops then, isn't it? So it's not foreign, because that's what I was told when because iZettle had come out. And I think these square little things that you see now commonly, but at the time, because they're new, they're telling me a customer might think a bit iffy with that. Whereas a proper card machine, because they use it daily in shops, they're going to be more confident to use that as a card machine. So that's why I went for WorldPay. But the square, no one's blinked at that on my phone. But then again, I've been cleaning the windows for quite a few years, so you got that trust there, haven't you? But when it's all new and you're new, that's something or I had to think about then, but now I don't think it'd make a difference, because you go a lot of market stalls, buskers use all this sort of stuff. So it's more common knowledge now, isn't it? Yeah, I've just got another question I'll probably ask. I'll just end the poll. It's not been a major change, to be honest. Okay, the poll then, if I click on that, is that, oh yeah, you've seen it there. So it's just saying 20 votes. You lot can see it more than me, and then the percentages there. And Taxman's going to get no inside info from here. So another question for you, basically. So I just got to tick something off. Where's my next question? Yeah, just thought basically, how much time do you think you spend on a weekly basis chasing up payments? God, this fly's bugging me. I can't whack anything when I'm trying to get it. Because how I chase payments, basically, I just say every Tuesday, every Thursday, with the way Squeegee works, I can click on a tab with Owen, and then there's a green little button I press, and basically it just brings up the list of everybody that owes me money. And it also tells you how many days. So it starts from the oldest, I have it, oldest pay Owen. And then basically anyone who's 7 days or under, I untick. And then I just click send, and it will send everyone a template and puts in their name for me. Basically of a payment reminder. And I thought if I did that every Tuesday, every Thursday. But if the list isn't big, I tend to do it every Thursday, once a week, because I'm worried that if I hound someone too much, you get rid of your customers. But then again, when you've got a lot of customers, that's not a bad thing. But when you're starting out, it is. And you get it eventually, but why should you wait? There's always things go wrong, payments come out, and if that money that was owing you was in, you'd be all right, because I used to have to bump onto my credit card because of all this, knowing that I'm going to get it back to pay my credit card off, but that's not the way to do things, is it really? But luckily things are a lot better now, and like I said, I'm owed basically 2 days work at the end of the month. Obviously I've still got payments that are in the process of coming into my bank through the Stripe and GoCardless automatic ones, but they're classed as accounted for, aren't they? So it's not too much time basically chasing payments, but the thing is, I do go through each individual. This is a bit that takes me a bit of time to make sure on all the different methods they're paying me. I check or go through the bank to make sure I haven't missed something, because I'd hate to remind someone they owe me money when actually they have been and paid me, which has happened a couple of times. But luckily I apologise, it's fine. And in my reminder, I ask them to double check as well. So I'm not coming across too much like a bully or something like that, because I know I get things wrong. We're only human at the end of the day. So a couple more comments come in. Gerard's just saying, we try to keep a health running balance, but it's something I've not got better at over the time, or something I have got better at over time. I think we all do. Rising costs can make it a challenge to create a cash flow forecast. Yep. And there's always variables in there, like your fuel bill. How big's your fuel bill? You know what I mean? There's days you don't work because of the weather and the fuel prices change. So it's a variable, isn't it? But you can do it enough to kind of work from. But yes, challenge to create a cash flow forecast, making tax digital will be next, which everyone's got to go that way at some point, aren't they? View Pure's just saying, I never chase payments, get SOAP sent. Oh, does it automatic invoice reminders? I know if I used to use Xero, that had automatic reminders, but then I realised I was just duplicating my work, so I try and run everything through Squeegee, because I used to raise an invoice in Xero and then I'd copy and paste that into Squeegee to then send an invoice that way. But when I realised you can have it all automated, click done, and it just knew that was saving me time in the evenings. But that's good to know that GetSoapy does that. It'd be nice if Squeegee could do an automatic payment reminder. As long as they pay before the next clean due, you're happy with that and you don't chase them. Yeah, as long as they're not a pain. That's something I used to do as well. But then I had to start chasing people because things were tight, especially when there's me, Sophie and Matthew and my wife that you're trying to pay. I was going to say, for people who are larger and have got employees, like for Neil here, it's cash flow is really important because you've got to pay everyone else. It's like feeding your family, isn't it, really? About 5 minutes chasing payments a week, checking invoices have been paid because of GoCardless, so it's kind of worth the fee they're charging, really, isn't it? What you're getting back. Like someone said, you save in one way, you'll pay it in another. Christopher's just come up with a good one. What poll or good poll B, what are your payment terms? Mine is 14 days. GoCardless is 7. I'd like to change all to at least 7 days. Right, we'll try that. Let's just end that question. I think that's a good question you come up there, Chris. Let me bring it down. There's probably no reason to put it in here because everyone can see it in the chat, really. Give that one a go. So yeah, what are people's payment terms? So for example, to use within 7 days. That's what I've done on mine. I know some people want the next day and all that kind of stuff. I just thought 7 days isn't too bad. It's hard, isn't it? Because when you first start window cleaning, you don't want to come across as if you're really bossy, because people might be looking down your nose and it's just a window cleaner. And like if you went commercial, it's 90 days, isn't it? Or 30 days, but a lot of them are 90. Luckily, the ones I clean that I class as commercial premises, they are businesses, but they pay within my 7 days, if that makes sense. And got tractors coming past. So it's not me and baked beans. But yeah, and I got a couple of businesses signed up to go cardless as well, because it was just easy, automated, and they know about direct debit payments and stuff like that. And I think some people might be impressed the fact that you use something like direct debit. The other good thing as well, rather than cash, is when you're using all these other payment methods, there's like a trail left behind, isn't there? So you can look in your bank and see when someone last paid. Or if you've missed it and someone says, I paid you on such and such date, you can look and then you can find it. Yep, I'm really sorry I missed that. Apologise, that sort of thing. Whereas if it's cash, you've got nothing other than what you've recorded in Squeegee itself. And if you've maybe pressed the button but the signal wasn't great, or you forgot to press it because you're rushing, then you're saying that they owe you money. And they're saying, no, I paid you. You're like, how do you prove that? And you know, do you just take it on the chin for risk of falling out with a good customer, that sort of thing? That's another good thing, I suppose, with these payment methods. And plus, if someone wants to come around and rob you, well, it doesn't matter. You've got no cash in the van, have you? Giles is saying you are maybe an hour each week chasing up payments. You have 8 customers to go back to next week. That's cash accounts we didn't get in. Yeah, I've got one because... It's not because they didn't want to pay me or anything like that. It's an elderly lady, and normally when I clean, she's up, and she wasn't. And she's one of the first customers you went to that particular day. So I got in touch with an ex-customer, which is one of her grandchildren, and just said basically, sorry to bother you, but I was at Margaret's and I just said some of the windows curtains were drawn, some were open. It just didn't feel right. She's normally up and about. I just wondered if everything was all right or if something was up. And he come back and just basically said, thanks for letting us know. She just slept in and the money's waiting for you. But yeah, I have to get in touch with her about picking up. But I was happy to leave it to next time. But your customers, some of them, they would be mortified at that idea. So I suppose I better find time and then give her a ring and go round to pick it up and have a bit of a chin wag. But, you know, I just hate thinking the customer's the other side of the door in trouble when I'm the one that could have made that phone call that made a difference rather than walking off. So that's why I kind of like mentioned it to someone else, just to make sure. Kev saying I do take a few cash payments but prefer card online. Luckily online payers aren't too bad. Yeah, and like I said, it's traceable, isn't it? It's like an audit trail, so you can see and they can see as well of being paid or not. So it's clear for both people. Matt saying terms for you are 5 days, but I like to get down to 3 for people who are not on GoCardless. Yeah, I understand that. My accountant said that businesses should pay on your terms. You shouldn't have to go by theirs, which is true. I think luckily, because I'm not charging a fortune to what a business is, that they're happy to pay within 7 days. No problems. And I know some businesses I've done used to pay you out of the petty cash, if that makes sense. But then I know some people had to get permission to pay me the money out of the petty cash, so I had to keep going backwards and forwards sometimes. Kev says you asked for payment within 48 hours. That's residential though. The only commercial I've done are a few shops and small film studio who you usually get paid quite quickly. I think because it's not yeah, they pay quickly. Because it's a small amount, they're happy to do that. And then he's just saying our payment terms on domestic window cleaning is 100% GoCardless. Businesses are 7 days and some bigger contracts are up to 90 days. And I think that's the problem with the commercial, isn't it? That's the way they're used to dealing with things. So I think sometimes in order to keep that contract, you probably have to keep with that. But that's where, I suppose, on them sort of jobs, you price accordingly for that, because if something happened to that company and they went bust, and let's just say you do something every month, that's 3 months of money you're not going to get, and only get, is it a penny for every pound they owe you through the whatever it's called when the people take over all the finances and that, to make sure people are paid off. So that's why you pay for the job higher, which I think is an accepted standard for all businesses, isn't it? That's why they do it as well. Dawn saying, I didn't mention payment terms. If you say 7 days, for instance, then the customers mind, they switch off for 7 days and then it prolongs payment. Yeah, I get. So you don't mention it in your terms because they just think they got 7 days to pay it. Yeah, I got you. I just said 7 days because GoCardless was 7 days, and as well as a confidence, I just thought I'm just a window cleaner. They're going to expect I'm going to wait for my money, that sort of thing. But that is definitely not on. It definitely isn't. Robbie's saying yours are 5 days. If not paid, I text after 10 days. Then you call them. I then find I don't get a problem with them long term. Yeah, it's, I suppose, a bit of it's training your customers as well, isn't it? Which is why I just said it. A Tuesday and a Thursday, they're both days of the weeks that begin with T. So I just think, oh, send payment minders out today. But if I'm not owed a lot, I tend to do it once a week, just on a Thursday. Dawn's just saying, send text reminders to create a sense of urgency if they think you aren't worried, nor are they. Yeah. So I do think you have to chase them up. And like you say, you can build up to 2 payments and say, right, I'm not coming round. It's going to cost you too much through the small claims courts. Like I said to Sophie, sometimes it's best just stress-free, turn around, walk away, forget, replace them with someone decent. Make your life easier in the long run, really. That's all what we want to do, isn't it? So, yeah, that was a good question there, Christopher. Flies, they're just mad, aren't they? So it does sound like then with GoCardless, overall, it is a good thing. And I know when I first started window cleaning, when I first went to the expo, it was just before I actually set myself up as a window cleaner. I just wanted to go look around and just speak to other window cleaners. I didn't speak to loads. I only had the balls to speak to 2. But the first thing he said about payments went, GoCardless. And one of them, I didn't even ask it. He said, GoCardless. And I've seen it in the forums and all that kind of stuff. I really wish everyone was on it. But it is what it is. And I'll have to slowly, I suppose, work out a way of transferring people over, but without as well making people bugger off because they don't want to. But then sometimes it's good just to say bugger it and just wipe the slate clean and say this is it going forward, and just hold strong, because you're going to build your round back up anyway, aren't you? As long as you do a good job, you get good reports and all that kind of stuff. Whoa. It's better, sorry. Yeah, so where are we going now? Just another comment come in. Gerard's just saying we have a football ground on GoCardless. I was asked to do a high street supermarket. They wanted to pay by backs, but I told them GoCardless only. They'll just do 90 days otherwise. Yeah, that's a good call there, mate. I can't see why they would turn that down, saying they want to do backs. I reckon the only reason why they're asking to do backs is because the person that does the accounts, that's the way they do it. And if they did something slightly different, it just makes their life a little bit harder. But they don't think how much a window cleaner's life is harder when you've got all these different ways of people paying you. We do it. But yeah, I assume it's that. But it can't be hard, can you? You say, look, you just see it. It's on your bank account. It's a direct debit, just like you're paying your bills for your business anyway. Matt's just asking Gerard, with regards to football ground, how often do you clean it? So you do it every 4 weeks. Are you able to say what football ground, Gerard? I mean, obviously, if you're not allowed to, don't. And I suppose with GoCardless, it's just set and forget, isn't it, for your customers once it's done? As long as they don't change bank account details, it'll just kind of like run itself. And like I say, they're informed for every step of the process. And like Matt's just proven, you are protected by the direct debit guarantee as well. So I suppose, like you say, you've got to go for the convenience for the customers after the setup. I think a lot of them think it's going to be complicated to sign up, but I think as well, if you're there, you can say, look, I'll send you an invoice now, and then talk them through, click this link, and then you can say, fill this bit in, that bit, it's done. So what else have I got? I'm just trying to look down. So yeah, it's getting everything set up, I suppose. Got another question, actually. Probably haven't spelt this right, so bear with me. You can see why I'm not the brightest person in the classroom. So I picked the wrong thing, yeah. You all right, James, mate? Welcome in, buddy. Nice to see you. John's going to have a drink of water. I think everyone's all right so far. Just too hot and annoyed by flies. Oh, Gerald, mate, there's obviously no problems there. Like I say, I'd rather you not say anything if you're not allowed to. So it's a small local football team. But that's nice, isn't it, to do something like that? For someone local as well. It's nice to be asked. It's going to be similar to doing a local pub, isn't it? You've got good potential of a customer base there as well. To be honest, we haven't had anyone in quite a while refusing to join the window cleaning round because they've got to sign up to GoCardless. In fact, I found customers are asking for it. Oh, that's awesome. Like I say, I tested the water for a little bit on saying, "Oh, go cardless." And people didn't even blink at it. I think it's coming across confident when you mention it as well. And it's good because it's like transparency as well, isn't it? Like you're saying, they get informed the whole process throughout it all, and they're covered with a direct debit guarantee. And it's, like Robbie said as well, it's another sifting process to get rid of the time wasters. Although obviously there are some people who would refuse that because they're in their way. So if they're elderly and all they want to do is pay you cash, because that's the way they like to do things. I mean, I do. It is nice to get paid cash because it reminds you, like when you're a paper boy, isn't it? It's always nice at the end of the week when you finish that last round of the week and you come in and they're handed your pay packet. I'd rather be handed the money than get a load of numbers in a bank. But I suppose that's different now. Everyone's getting paid through banks. It's all digital. But if you can remember it that way, it was nice. And plus, some people like to hand over money because it's how they've gotten through life in paying and budgeting. You know, all these different jars and pots. So that's their way of doing it. So I suppose you've got to give allowances for some people. Gerald's just saying biggest concern would be being tied up in something that can then creep up. Yeah, that's something I thought of in costs. There's not that many CRM software out there that are for window cleaners, and it may be not too competitive. And it's like saying if you're using all these, like I thought of doing that with Stripe and GoCardless, is what happens when they start to bump up their fees. And you've asked for all these people to be on it, and now you're asking them to come off it and go for something else, like your backs. But I know I've got some customers on backs, and literally as I'm getting out of the van, my phone pings and they've paid me. There's not a lot to be honest, but there are a couple that are just ping and then they lean out the window going, "Just let you know, Rob, I've just paid you." And it's just like, wow. So you definitely keep them ones on it. But yeah, I totally get that. And that's one of the things I was worried about, is trying to force everyone, is trying to come across as a bit of a dictator, and then you're losing a lot of customers. So I think because someone like me who's got customers on different payment methods, to change everyone onto GoCardless is not going to be overnight. It's going to be a slow process to work your way around, I suppose, and win people over. But definitely it's worth getting new customers on it and do it that way, because people are going to drop off somewhere along the lines, aren't they? Moving away, that sort of thing. So it's eventually going to swap out. Yeah, and that's the other thing with GoCardless. Not everyone has the internet, do they? Or an email. Like, I've got customers that even got a mobile phone. Well, they laugh and go, "I've got a mobile phone, but it's just in the car." So it's only for my family to get hold of me when I do go out. But most of the time I'm in the house and I don't use the mobile. And I haven't got an email. My dad's one of them as well. He has got a phone though. But as he tells the doctor, my phone's 20 quid, you know, when they ask for pictures of your boils or whatever. He said, "I've got a £20 phone, it does not do photos." So, yeah, there's things like that as well, isn't there? So, yeah, where's the pricing on GoCardless? I can't even what one I'm on. So I've got different ones. So 1% plus 20p for standard. If you go to advanced, it's 1.25%. That's breaking into euros as well. So maybe I need to change country. I don't know. And it's going up. But obviously, the more, I suppose, you pay for things, the more it does. Mills, my startup was used crypto. That's Christopher's saying. I'll come to some of them. Yeah, am I filtering something wrong here in this pricing section? Obviously, I don't want to sign in just in case it flashes up. Customer details. Yeah, I've got 77, people on GoCardless. Because I remember looking through earlier. Then I've got quite a few on Stripe as well. Yeah, so View Pure Window Cleaning is just saying, I'm waiting for someone to ask if they can pay in Bitcoin. And I would be more than happy to accept it. I can't help but smile when customers message me TK. Yeah, or a kiss on the end as well, and you hoping your missus ain't going to see that. No, it's not from another bloke. My startup was used with crypto, yeah, and I've got a customer with no internet or email, but I signed them up to GoCardless and just put my email in. I usually just text them. I've been so they know it's coming out. Right, that's a good way of doing it. That's a good workaround there. I would never ever thought of that. That's really good. No worries, mate. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, mate. Like that. And I think your customer's happy because I suppose, bless them, I bet they felt like they let you down because they've got no internet or email. But they really want you to clean the windows. So they're happy for that. And like you say, they can see it all in the bank as well. That was a quality move, I think. You're saying I can't help but smile when they message and say they will pay me. Well, why don't they just transfer it? It's just as quick as sending a message, yeah. Like you say, you never know, though, do you, what's going on in someone's life. But it is a pain to be waiting for money. I'm glad I'm not as bad as what I used to be. It used to be terrible. I suppose the bigger you get as well, especially if you've got other more outgoings to keep track of and pay, and they're all on time basis, you need good cash flow, especially if you've got staff. So yeah, GoCardless is probably the way the bigger guys go as well. Because I was just going to say is, for those that use Squeegee or thinking about it, if you go onto the Squeegee website and on this bit here, click help, you'll go to their training academy. And then these are basically like playlists of YouTube videos. So you basically get to work out how Squeegee works for various different things. And then there's your automatic payments for Squeegee. So this is saying like how to connect to Stripe and how to connect Squeegee to GoCardless and how to link all your customers and all that kind of stuff. And then how to get people to sign up to auto payments, all that kind of stuff that we need to know. Now I think as well as Apple. Lots of good stuff on GoCardless if you do read it, and I think they've even got like a way of how to put it to your customers to switch across to GoCardless as well. And then of course you can use AI like Gemini AI, that sort of thing, to come up with a well worded way of asking your customers to transfer over to GoCardless, basically pushing out the benefits for them, not just what they are for you. I just really wish I had everybody on GoCardless to start with, but like you say, when you're starting, you just want customers, don't you? Because you've got to get a certain amount. Have a good week, Robbie, mate. Thanks for joining us and the phone call during the week. And yeah, mate, have a good holiday. You all deserve it, remember? And also, GoCardless is going to make sure you're getting paid whilst you're out there on holiday as well. So have a good one, mate. Yeah, that's all I've got to say really about GoCardless, I suppose. I don't think anyone's had any bad experiences with it. Things, like I said, to be a bit mindful of is the fact that when people have got failed payments, I think it retries, doesn't it, automatically up to 3 times for you. But it does cost you. You get charged a little bit for that. So if you've got like hundreds of customers that are doing that as well, that's going to start building up. But then again, you're going to be told through Squeegee, if you use it, or whatever CRM, I suppose, that you've got these problems. So it's highlighting it as well for you to deal with, drop them or whatever. Oh, sorry, I just seen a comment from Gerald coming in saying, thank you, that's a great tip. We're thinking about Squeegee. Oh, when I was just showing the... Go onto the Squeegee website, do you mean, mate? Sorry. And how to get to their Squeegee Academy. And like I said, they're like links to YouTube videos, like playlists on all the features on Squeegee as well. So they're handy, good to look around with. Did they have something about tax digital then on the Squeegee one? I probably missed that. Well, you can do a search up here as well. Say tax digital. Oh, maybe they haven't. Oh, maybe I've just spelt it completely wrong. That's worth a try. Yeah, no, this is a good resource Squeegee you got, mate, and as you can see, they've got stuff still under development, customer portal, which looks good as well. Nellie's just saying, just tell them your insurance is insisting that all customers must be on GoCardless. Yeah, you might never know, it might work. So you're being forced, basically. Matt's just saying to Gerard, only certain software is included in making tax digital. It has to be proper accounting software like Xero. Yeah, and like I say, that's another reason why I'm keeping with Xero. It's just the accountant uses it, and I've had it from day one. And you've got to bear in mind, all these programs, they're all putting their prices up as well. So the rising costs and cost of living are just going to keep going up. So it's important, isn't it, to keep on top of your pricing and yeah, keep doing regular, like either annually or biannually price increases to keep up with everything. It's hard, isn't it? It's never easy, and you're always having to tinker and think about stuff. But at the end of the day, if you can get out there, get your work done, get the money in the bank, pay your bills, you're doing really well. And this month, thank God, so far has been good. And if it continues for the rest of the month, it's going to proper right my ship compared to the last couple of months. And if I can continue that for 2 or 3 months on the bounce, I'll be happy. I wouldn't worry too much about winter then. But at the end of the day, it's just, I just look at my schedule and follow that and try and get it done and get home for tea time. And not melt. Nice, Mark. You all right, mate? We were just talking about GoCardless, buddy. Are you on GoCardless at all, or plans to get a lot of your customers over to GoCardless. Squeegee will link with Xero. We can't with Cleaner Planner, I believe, and the features look better. Yeah, I haven't used Cleaner Planner. Matt has, and I know when you go to Squeegee in the reports, there are some reports that are, or it pulls information in from Xero, or it can send stuff to Xero, if that makes sense. But I don't think it's all 100% working. But they're obviously stuff that they are planning on getting done. So it does speak to each other. I think the idea as well is if you say go into Squeegee, mark it as done, it will raise the invoice for you in Xero. So that would save me admin time. For example, when I get home after work and I've had my tea and then I start doing all my invoicing, that would get rid of that as well. And then imagine with GoCardless, I just have to press reconcile, which automatically has it done. I just press OK, job done. That'd save so much time, and that is worth paying money for your cash flow, being better off, and ease of admin, isn't it? It's that time you get to spend with your family or for yourself. Mark's is saying, yes, all mine are on GoCardless. Bloody hell, mate, that's good going. I'm jealous. So how much easier do you find your life, mate, with everyone on GoCardless in terms of doing admin, not having to chase your customers up for late payments? And I think as well, isn't it, with GoCardless, you get notified if anyone's payment fails, which is normally because the bank has cancelled the direct debit, because it just does that sometimes, doesn't it? I think every couple of years they have a clear out. It's easily resolved, and when you tell your customer, they aren't even aware of it. So it's easily fixed because you just send another link. Do you find that, Mark? God, it's getting warm in this room. Yeah, I'm going to call it a night soon as well, Nelly. I take it's because you're up really early in the morning as well, mate. Have a good week as well, buddy. Take care. Be safe. Yeah, I'll start thinking about drawing it to a close for the night as well. Sorry, it hasn't been a riveting stream, but I couldn't think of what to do. So I thought, yeah, GoCardless, as it's been a talk in the Discords today. Mark's is saying work life is much easier. It's less stress as well. So it's got to be worth all the money to do that, hasn't it? And has anyone here as well managed to convert all your customers over to GoCardless, for example? But, you know, rather than they've signed up as the process to coming on board. And did you find it a bit of a hard time? I think people are going to get there, aren't they? It's just not going to be press a button and magic, it's done. But I can see the benefits of GoCardless. I've told my wife I'd love it. The admin would be so much easier. And thanks, Angus, for letting us know what all these like crowns, party hats, whatever you want to call them, and numbers are. So it's the people who chat the most in the chat earning you XP. I don't know if that XP can get you stuff. Oh, as well, something of this week. I think it was Friday. My new uniforms arrived through Workwear Express. Just bear with me, I'll try and get up Workwear Express. I suppose I've got to log in as well. Excuse me. Sorry, Mills Cleaning saying struggling to convert everyone. Excuse me, to be honest. When I've tested the water trying to convert existing customers across, I didn't get a very good response. There was, I think, like a number, say 10 to 15 signed up, but the majority who I send it to didn't even reply. Nothing happened. So I don't think it's going to be that easy. That's why me and my wife are saying I think we're going to focus more on those who are late payments and sending payment reminders. We'll eventually get them onto GoCardless. And if they're really bad, just be direct saying, look, you either sign up or I can't clean your windows anymore. Right, for whatever reason, I can't get my order through Workwear Express to load up. So what I'll do is I'll just try and show you what I've got. But before I do that, I'll try and catch up with the comments. Yeah, so like I say, Emil saying, struggling to convert everyone, to be honest. And instead of sending pay reminders, I'm trying to send invite to automatic payments link. But all that seems to do is prompt them to pay by backs. But hey, he's getting a result though, innit? Yeah, I send a payment reminder saying, just a reminder, you've got a late payment, sends the invoice. And then at the bottom, it says, why not sign up to automatic payments? And it's the link for GoCardless, basically. That has sometimes worked. Matt's just saying to Gerard, I agree, Squeegee looks better, but Cleaner Planner holds much more data for me now that I won't be changing despite it not being as good. Mills saying you've got about 20% of your customers on it. I'm probably less than 10%, probably about 6 or something like that. And you're saying, I think I might have to set a deadline for when I'm moving all my customers over. I think it's just, rather than set a deadline where it's got to happen, just set a deadline where you're going to have it in place, if that makes sense. And then kind of like make a decision. Mark's saying, yes, you have to be tough when changing your current customers over to GoCardless. Matt's saying, Mills Cleaning could say, sign up and I'll freeze your price for a certain amount of time. So some kind of incentive. You do hear tricks where you say, we'll offer you a discount or a discount on your next clean if you sign up now to GoCardless, that sort of thing. That's not a bad idea, is it? Okay, here's the Workwear Express. That's just where I got my uniform from when I first started. I've done it a couple of times. I think it's going to be the third time. What I got, because it won't show you my order, so you won't see the logo. Basically, I've got this hoodie. And then on this side here, it's got my Crystal Clean Windows logo embroidered on there. And then it's got my name underneath. And then I've got the same for Matthew with his name underneath. The reason why I put the name on there is not just so the customers know who we are, because they know who we are anyway. Is to make washing and drying our clothes a lot easier. And I don't end up putting on his t-shirts, which are a bit tight. On me anyway. And he's not got mine. And then when I'm going to get some for David as well. So when he helps out. So we've all got a kind of uniform. We've all got our names on the outside. So we don't have to read the labels to find out who they are in the house when we get the washing done. So that's the hoodie. And then I got t-shirts as well. Because obviously the hotter weather, and we've changed it from black. Jesus, can I remember what one it was? I think it was this one. No, it wasn't. That's a V-neck. I wish I'd got the V-neck. So it must be this one. Yeah, this is one we got. And then, I got this t-shirt. And again, it's got my logo embroidered on there with the colours that are like on my van and YouTube and all that stuff. And then again with my name underneath or Matthew's name, and I'll get the same for David. I'm looking forward to wearing them. I'm going to be wearing them tomorrow. I would have put the hoodie on for me live as well, because you'd seen it here, crystal clean windows, but it's just way too hot for a hoodie. Yeah, agree with what you're saying there, Matt. Yeah, Mill's just saying that's a good idea, Matt. And yes, it'll be too hot on the hoodie tomorrow. It'd be nice to have to wear a hoodie though during the week because it's cooled down enough. But I'm glad I got them. And then obviously for the winter, I love me buffalo. I'll put that on. Mark's just saying, I found it harder to put prices up than I did to get your customers over to GoCardless. Wow. Because I lost lots of sleep about putting my prices up. How much? It was a right mess. Like I did, some of them went up a £5 because they're really underpriced. And luckily it worked out. And the 4 that left me were 4 we dreaded cleaning anyway, which we wouldn't have done if the price had gone up to what they did. So I was lucky there. I've also had a school email me. Not far from me, in a place called Levington, there's a school, I think, for special needs been made, so it's all new. It's been up a while, and we've had an email from them, so we've emailed back where they're asking for a one-off window clean. So Teresa's going to go around, speak to them, visit them, have a look at it, and then we're going to quote it up. It's not something we need to go and do, so I'm not going to put my customers out by stretching myself too far, but I've said to Teresa, if it's something I can do over a Saturday and Sunday and I've got access or all that kind of stuff, I would happily do it on my own without Matthew on a Saturday and Sunday, and I'll just work and clean it for a one-off clean as extra money on top of the window cleaning. I know it might be mad to do that, but I would do it for that reason, and also on the off chance that maybe they'll think of me again next time, or even if they look at doing it regularly, it could be something we could think about. But it would be hard for us to fit it in with our rounds, to be honest. No worries, Gerard, mate. Like I said, I will call it a night as well. Take care, buddy. Have a good week as well, mate. Thanks for all your input. So, yeah, that's something we're going to work on. See how that one comes off. Yes, mate. I was just wondering what you were saying, James. Yeah, make sure you leave yourself some downtime on a weekend. I don't like working weekends, mate, but because it's what I call silly season in the springtime, people having fascia soffits and gutters cleaned, even gutter clears as well. I'm adding them on Saturdays, so my Monday to Friday window clean is not affected, and that money I earn on that particular Saturday is extra money, because silly season will stop and then it'll just be on with the window cleaning. It's the only way to make it work without my schedule, as you've seen from my videos, getting hit too much, and that's why I'll do the school. It'll be a one-off on a weekend, I'm hoping, or I've even said to my wife, within this summer, really finish, get home, have tea, I could go back out and do a few hours over the course of a Monday to Friday to then have that weekend free rather than work, if that makes sense, and get the job done. But it all depends on access and all that, which you're only going to get through speaking with the school, I suppose. But then if I explain that's how busy I am, that's the only option I got. So we'll see how that one shapes up anyway. Mark's saying you've been under the weather this week, some kind of head cold, sore throat, and you're tired. I think everyone's tired just because of the heat, mate, and you're not sleeping well as well. But yeah, it doesn't help when you've got some kind of cold as well. Hope you get to shake it off, Mark, because it's hard when you're not feeling well, isn't it? And you've got a lot of work to go and do, because window cleaning can be a lot harder than what people think. Night, Sean, mate. Have a good week, buddy. Have a good week on the glass. Look after yourself. Matt's just saying to Mark, yeah, hope you feel better this week. Same here, mate. It's not good. It's hard. It's hard to keep yourself motivated as well, isn't it? But what keeps you going is that bank balance, to be honest. That's what gets you out the door. I think that's the thing as well. It's the getting out the door. Once you're started, you're all right. It's just when you stop and have a break and then you have to get going again. And then your evenings, it's just rubbish. Yeah, I hope you get over it, mate. Right, everyone, I'm going to call it a night as well because time's getting on. And I can turn the fan on then to try and make this a bit cooler to try and get some sleep. And yeah, let's see what the week brings. So everyone have a really good week. Safe week out there. If you've got any subjects you want us to talk about during the live or just a normal hangout and we just ask broad questions there, just put them in the comments somewhere along on this video later. And then, yeah, we'll take it from there. And by the way, as well, got channel memberships where you've got a Discord as well. I'm trying to get people maybe into there. It's a way of supporting my channel because I spent lots of money on kit and equipment and stuff. But the Discord is another place I'm trying to get like a community built. But everyone in here is absolutely great. But yeah, no, thanks for coming to the live streams now. I mean, I first started this to no one. But it's a nice group of people in here that show up every week as well. So everyone take care. Have a good week on the glass and look after yourselves. See you next week.